All right, God. I'm just going to say what's on my mind because last night that was a lot of anger and resentment towards family and how I view the history of working for my dad and my uncles versus my immaturity at the time, my lack of patience and biblical application. It's been a weird journey. I've hurt people even unintentionally. It's like a lack of awareness or understanding. Okay. So, I'm trying to give it all to God. Not put people on a pedestal, not try to people please, not try to, what's the other one? Impress people as if that's my idol or make myself into an idol or whatever, but I can't be perfect and I'm trying so hard. I miss my family, I miss my mom and my dad. And I don't want it to be a pride thing, but I just don't. I'm tired of getting hurt, and I'm tired of the yo-yo effect of like, go get an internship there, then come back and have a college degree, but told to go be at the bottom for 1 year, but then you make a mistake, so now it's 5 years, and then that's too hard, but people have been doing it, so I guess I'm not worthy, and it feels really shitty. But that's where I feel really like what deep down in my core is like, what about me? What about my feelings? How do you think it felt when I got the degree, but you said you still gotta wait? Well, you never told me that beforehand. I would have planned differently. Why go to college to earn it, but then not? And then, so there's that resentment, and then you feel lonely, like you're not really spending time with your dad or your uncles. It doesn't really feel like family. So you leave to pursue your own dreams. But then you realize you should have planned and not worked on emotions. And then you go prove yourself with other jobs. You go work for ZeniMax until you get bored and realize you could be happy somewhere else. And then you go work for GameStop for 2 years and prove yourself there as a salesman and a manager. And they use that you work for a family business against you. So no matter what you do, you can't please people, you can't raise up. It's all out of my control, so I have to give to God. And then you got to face the guilt, the shame, and then you go back. They let you come back, but then you got to work 18-hour shifts. And it's like, is it forced overtime, or can I just do 8 hours? If I did 8 hours 5 days a week, that would have been a lot easier. Maybe I could have better applied. And I was always trying to build my own business, so I didn't save money, because saving money didn't make any sense, because expenses would have caught up because rent's too high, so you have to get a friend, so you have to have friends, and then you have to find a place in the city, and then it's got to be $600, and you can split it. But then what if someone else gets fired or something, and then whatnot? What I'm trying to say is that there's struggle, and it's something everyone here has in common. We're all going through something, and there's definitely injustice and inequality going on, especially when it comes to poverty. And like, not all jobs are the same. You got people who do more work physically that's boring and everything, and they get paid less. And then you got people at the top who are just all about pride and ego and need to have everyone validate them every once in a while. And they're just worried about their own stomachs. So you go back, and then you realize you keep pushing, and then it's not good enough still. You're not getting a promotion. You're not getting a raise. You're not doing what you want to do. And if you get too comfortable, you get too far into working there, you're not doing what you want to do. you'll never leave and pursue your own dreams because you got the comfort of a salary. So there really is no winning with going my way or his way, my way or the highway. So it's got to be God's way, because no one really cares. Everyone's just doing their own thing anyways. Everyone's being entertained and distracted. Everyone's on a certain mission for the most part. Gotta give them the benefit of the doubt, but then there's addicts and people who are just completely have no knowledge or don't use it in a wise way. Like their God is the NFL or something. So you mouth off and send an extremely long email to your uncles and your dad, and then also a separate one to the CFO or controller. And you say everything that come to mind because the anger and caffeine overload gets to you, and you didn't know that you were using caffeine to get into a manic state. You didn't know you're overusing caffeine and thus getting so aggressive and angry that you wish that we were all poor so we'd all spend time together, which was ironic because when COVID hit and the after effects, we had small families and we had to be together, and we enjoyed that for a while. But I was also pushing people away by hurting them the way that Mandy hurt me with love bombing. And I feel like we also love bombed a generation because the 90s were great for kids, but then, or at least it seemed like it, but now it's like, I don't even think I'm not going to be able to afford a kid, so it'd be really inappropriate for me to have a kid. That's why there's a whole, it's not so black and white with things like abortion. So anyone who debates abortion is really just, that's really just a distraction to keep us separate, divided. So you quit a second time, and then you do some odd jobs or whatever, and then eventually you go to GameStop, you work for a year, and then they make you an intern, because this isn't about GameStop. Not an intern. This isn't about GameStop though. And then you go prove yourself by being a produce salesman and perennials at a food stand that's kind of like a shop. Produce stand. So now I'm running a little store selling produce, so that should be like, hey dad, look, I'm doing that. Am I worthy now? No. Now you're going to be the food. Come back, you only get $16 an hour in 2019. And you're going to be a food safety advisor, and you're going to do something completely mundane and boring, so you're just actually barely going to do the job. Instead, you're going to completely redesign the whole database because you need purpose, and a database that looks good is more convincing than a shit ton of folders of information that no one cares about, not even the auditors. Sorry for cursing. And then COVID hits out of nowhere after your manager says that don't worry about the exam, there will never be a virus. And then a month later, there's a global pandemic, and then you get in an argument with your dad because you want to move out because that's what he wants and the mom wants. See, God, this is where I'm at. It's like, why did I go through all that? So like, I'm trying to do what they want. I'm working the job, but it's not enough so I can move out, which is what they want. So I push really hard while the pressure of a global pandemic and the fear, which it says in the Bible, you shouldn't fear a virus. I wish I knew that. I wish I had better applied at reading the Bible. It would have saved me a lot of pain. People should read Proverbs, and they would stay away from lustful sins and not have a broken heart. So it's like, how far do I have to go? When do I break? I'm going to break and have dishonor my parents, because it's like, eventually, push comes to shove, was like people pleasing my parents in over obedient way, like making them my gods, because it was like, it just doesn't make any sense, like how I could try to do the right thing but still mess up. And since I got fired, I became homeless. They were like, you have a certain date. So I lost a lot of possessions doing that. And a very long story short, they've done that to me 4 times. And now I barely have anything. I have clothes for the season and hygiene products, but I have no savings. I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's really frustrating that the only thing the family does is just watch, because no one knows what to do or what to say. And they think I'm blaming and everything. And they all look at me and maybe and go, look what he did. Well, it's like, how much do I have to take to get some common decency or dignity or respect? My real question is, where did all the love go? And yeah, audience, that's my issue. My heartbreak, my trauma is literally just, I gotta do it all on my own. COVID taught me that I'm the one reaching out to everyone. If I stop, no one does. So why bother? And also, no one helped me when I went to the homeless shelter. No one, and this isn't about self-pity or anything, but I'm just tired of it being like, oh, Tyler's unstable, or Tyler has a mental illness. Well, if I had a mental illness and you still put me through all of that, why aren't you supporting me at my worst? Why aren't you reaching out? Why aren't you checking up on me? In college, it was always like, Tyler, why don't you ever call? Well, that's because I'm working really hard to earn my degree, because I want to work. So, it's circumstantial, and I'm tired of putting people first and the fear of man and everything. I didn't realize, maybe I should have just been more myself and spoke out loud, and maybe I would have dropped out of high school, but at least I would have gone a direction I wanted to go and within my control. So I didn't even want to play lacrosse in college. That was just for a scholarship, and I wanted to quit freshman year, but I played all 3-4 years because my dad said I had to, because that's what people wanted to know for your application and your resume. No one cares. Oh, how do I turn this one around? So I'm just at a level of, I have to just accept it. I'm just saying, between the heat, the walking, the abysmal attitude or behaviors or manners of certain people that I have to be around, down to things like that are really test your endurance and fortitude, like bed bugs. They're supposed to be all gone. Don't know if they're all gone, but this has been a hell of a summer. You got 110 degree weather, no air conditioning, and bed bugs. They should be gone by now, but it's just like, so even my family wanted to help. I can't go to them because we used to have bed bugs, so I have to throw everything away that I do have. Nah, they're pretty much gone. But it's just, I'm just angry for the injustice, the lack of love, because there used to be love, but it just slowly decayed. And I'm arguing, and I'm trying to be the bigger person, but eventually I start giving back what my own dad and mom give me, and they're appalled. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Am I a bad kid, or are you the bad parent? And if the Bible taught us anything, there's a relationship between the Father and the Son. I don't even know if they're still alive anymore. They didn't reach out for my birthday. I reached out for Mother's Day and Father's Day once. I got a thanks. Good morning.
Good morning.
And breadcrumbs. I mean, 2 of my friends came back and one cousin came to hear most of my story. But it doesn't heal the wound. In the moment it does, but then it goes back to the grind. And I'm thankful. I'm grateful that I got to work out today. It's never, I have to work out. I get to work out. And you get to see me work out. Because you have eyes. I have eyes. We have limbs. Not everyone does. You're holding a phone right now. Do you know how miraculous a phone is? People used to ask me if a $12 headset was worth it for their video game system. And I said, so you're telling me people gather minerals and rocks and use chemicals and everything to construct a device that people can telecommunicate across the world and instantaneously? And you think that's only worth $12? So they buy the $60 one. Because the $12 one's always broke. They're built to break. Alright, I'm done. You guys have a good day. And at the end of the day, I am suffering more than I could ever imagine because I ate Reese cups when my parents were gone and my phone was in the room because my watch died and I needed an alarm. And Reese cups are my favorite candy and they had them out, so why are they buying my favorite candy that I'm not allowed to have? I feel set up. Oh, and then they judge my overreaction to everything they've done to me. And then I also get a message not to play victim. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, did my back hurt your knife? But I don't want this to be about pride. The goal is connection and healing. But they just wanted me to grow and be on my own and be successful. Well,
For real? Oh, they changed the number?
Yeah, no.
pay me enough. I don't know what to tell you.
The 26 is different. A lot of them is different. Because the Navy is around there now. The Navy is right there. They used to be up there in the
Yeah,
front.
I'm basically, I'm like,
Look, it's tell you right here. Look on
I see them with the
Like I gotta prove myself.
It tell you all of them.
And then there's the pattern where I try to push and push and push to be on my own, to do my thing, but I'm under-resourced. So I'm doing more with less than most people. So would I even want to go back? I just wish things were different. And the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Being ambivalent. Do you want me to treat you like you're two? No, I want, what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I lacked emotional intelligence to not want a mother. I don't, what? I thought you were my mother. I think the whole point was basically like, they didn't care how I felt. Maybe I want to go to the